In this lesson, we're going to look at solving systems with substitution. Our objective is to understand how to solve a system with substitution. Our vocabulary is substitution, putting equivalent expressions in for a variable. Basically, things that are equal, we can put them in for each other. The best way to figure out how to do this is just to jump into it and try it. So here what I've got is two equations that are in intercept form. Nice thing about intercept form, it's solved for y. If it's solved for y, that means that we have y equaling something. We can substitute in for y. Basically, to do substitution, we need a variable that's by itself. So here we have y equals. So we're going to take 6x plus 3, and we're going to put it in for the y in the other equation. So we're going to put it in there. We're going to get 6x plus 3 equals negative 2x plus 35. And at this point, we would just solve the equation. So we're going to move one of our x's. I'm going to move negative 2x because it's smaller. So I'm going to add 2x. 8x plus 3 equals 35. And at this point, we would basically have our choice of balance or box. I'm just going to use balance for the sake of time. So it looks like x is 4. Now a lot of people, once they get to x equals or y equals, they think they're done. But because it's a system, that means that there's at least two answers because there are two equations. Two equations, two answers, three equations, three answers. So we need to figure out our y value. So we're going to take our x and put it into one of the equations. Shouldn't matter which one we use. So I'm going to use the top. Instead of x, I'm going to put 4 in. So now we have this problem. We're just going to do our regular math to it. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3. Y looks to be 27 there. So what we have for a solution is 4, 27. And there's our solution to the system. Okay, let's try two more examples. In this example, what we have is one of the equations not solved for a variable and the other one is. This doesn't change what we do. We always focus on the one that is solved. So we have y equals, we're going to take that right there and we're going to put it in for y because it equals y. Now, whenever you have a number or something next to the y, or the variable that you're substituting in, you need to put a parentheses around what you're substituting in. So we have 2x plus 3, then we want to put in our y, and our y is really negative 4x plus 1 equals 13. Now if you look in this situation, we're going to be distributing, combining like terms, and solving. Okay, we've distributed. Then we're going to combine like terms. And at this point, solve balance or box method. So, looks like x is negative 1. So we're going to take negative 1 and put it back into these equations. I would always use the equation that looks the easiest. Since this one isn't solved for y, it looks like this bottom one's going to be easiest. Notice notice, same equation, except instead of x, I've used -1. Make sure you remember your times sign or parentheses. So we have -1 and 5 as our answer. There's our solution. Okay, one more example, a little bit more difficult version for our last one. The reason that this one is more difficult is none of the variables are solved for. So we have to choose which one to solve for. Use your common sense. Which one looks the easiest to solve for? Well, since x doesn't have a number in front of it, I would say that this x is the easiest to solve for. I'm going to move this to y by subtracting it. I'm going to get x equals -4 minus 2y. So now I've solved for x. What I can do is I can take this and put it in for x. So I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to substitute it right in for that x. So I'm going to get 4 times -4 minus 2y minus 5y equals -3. Okay, so this isn't any more difficult than the last two. It's just a little bit longer because you have to solve for a variable. -16 minus 8y minus 5y equals -3. I'm going to move this to the top to continue my work. So we're going to combine like terms. -8 and -5 would be -13y minus 16 equals -3, and solve from here. So I got a y of -1. Now, the thing that we have to think about here is which of these equations would be the easiest? This one or this one? Well, the truth is, neither one of these two would be the easiest. The easiest would actually be your one that you solved for. X equals -4 minus 2y. So that's the one I'm going to use. Instead of y, I'm going to put in -1. So -2 times -1 is +2. So I have -4 plus 2 is -2 for an x value. Make sure you put the x first. Even though we found the y first, the x still goes first in our solution. So -2 comma -1 is our solution. Okay, this has been Solving Systems with Substitution. If there's any part of this that you didn't fully understand or you need to rewatch, please pause, rewind, rewatch, and bring any questions to class. Thank you.